Alright, so here we have the EFAW 2205 2350 kV motors. I want to start off by giving you an idea of what I have on this build so that you can have an idea what builds would be comparable, therefore giving you more of an ability to compare the motors. So I have a EFAW 187 Pure X frame. This runs 5-inch props, so that would be fairly comparable to a Shrike 185. For ESCs, I have the Racer Star 30 amps running BL Heli S. Those would be comparable to really any 30 amp BL Heli S ESCs. And for flight controller, I have a CC3D Revo F4 on Raceflight, which is comparable to really any Raceflight flight controller. Let's get on to some of the key talking points of these motors. Definitely a well executed product here. Just goes back to that red and black color that was started mostly with the Emax red bottoms, which it does look nice, but it is becoming a little bit repetitive. But I do really like just how it fit together here. The red bottoms, I actually think these are a little bit nicer looking, the red bottoms with the red tops, and then the black, the gloss black bottom. Just really nice looking, and although that's not a factor for many people because they are all about performance, I really like it. So this top bell design does pull the air in quite nicely. They do run a little warmer than the Tornadoes, but that's kind of not really a great comparison since the Tornadoes run super cool in my experience. These run about like the Emax red bottoms, so I was quite pleased with that. Another thing as far as performance goes, the overall top end punch is incredible. I was just flying today at my club, or with my club, as a practice. Comments I was hearing, what are those motors? What is that quad? I can't believe the power you're getting. So, really happy with that, and so is everybody else. Super impressed. One of the other things that I really like is the how quiet they are. A lot of motors super loud, and some people really like the scream or whatever, but I've been super impressed with how quiet these are. They also run at super low RPMs. Their idle rate is super low, which allows for arming at low rates, and so it'll just spin just barely, and so I'm able to get crazy hang times when I punch out, invert, and you can still keep climbing while you're upside down since you just don't have very much lift. Yet it keeps the quad stable with the props at least I'm running. So these are 5040 bullnose. They're really the only props I've been running. The tri-blades, these nuts couldn't get down far enough on the shaft to tighten down on the hub, so I ended up having to run these bullnose 5045s, which I actually personally prefer over tri-blades just for the feel and performance. Super happy, as I said, about how quiet they are. Even at full punch out, it doesn't seem like it's moving that fast because, at least for me, I didn't realize this, but I had started to interpret loud sound as high-end performance, but then I started realizing just how fast I was climbing, and so it's kind of nice to have that little bit of a softer sound just so that you aren't disrupting everything, and just keeps it quiet, especially if you're flying in a neighborhood or somewhere that are near people where they don't want the loud noise. Super nice. Also, that's wasted energy, of course, in the sound, and so that keeps it more efficient. One of the downfalls that I've seen with these motors is the fact that the nut does screw on only one direction, which is the same way with the Tornadoes that I just reviewed, but the difference with these is these screw on reverse threads. The Tornadoes are regular threads, and I actually preferred that since I wasn't having any problems with the props coming off. It was nice to be able to have all the same direction so you could just swap in any motor if you damaged one. Now with these, with the reverse threads, it's quite difficult to find reverse thread nuts in a hardware store. I've yet to find any. Not that I've particularly needed them, but it's just I feel a downfall in production, I guess, quality or quality control. I'm just not pleased with the fact that knowing if I have to find another nut for these, it's probably not going to be easy. So here it is without the nut and prop on it. Really sleek look. I'm super pleased with that. You can see just the small amount of logoing on there. One other point that I wanted to make on these is the 2350 kV. Just a slightly higher kV. You wouldn't think you'd be able to notice it, but I honestly can feel the difference over the 2300 kV motors of like the Emax red bottoms. I feel that there's just a little bit more high-end punch, and I really like that. It just gives you that little bit of extra oomph when you're looking for a little more power there in your top end for punch outs and other things where you don't want to waste time getting a lot of altitude. Super nice design on these motors. I don't really have a whole lot of negatives to talk about with these. They are a little pricey, $23.99 a piece, but if you're looking at other, as I said with the Tornadoes, if you're looking at other high-end motors like the Schizo version, or especially the new Schizo ceramic version, T-motors, and all of those, you're looking at $25 to $35, which these come in below that. So not terrible, a little high compared to Emax red bottoms, but I feel that their performance is slightly better than the Emax red bottoms as well, so that's just a trade-off that you'd have to make. 30 amp ESCs seem to stay fairly cool with these, although their performance, like I said, is better than the Emax red bottoms, so pretty impressed there. Big shout out to the guys over at Get Fast Drones for hooking me up with these motors. Really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them, or you can look in the description. I'll leave my FPV email down there. You can send me an email and I'll make sure to respond. Thanks for watching. I'll put a little bit of test footage so you can see what I've been experiencing and make the decision from there.
I can't control this feeling. Something's happening inside me. Our senses come alive. The chemistry is brilliant.